This video is sponsored by MyBookie. You know what my favorite part about this time of year is, guys? Sweater weather, leaves on the ground, and threes from downtown. That's right, for some it's fall season, but for the rest of us, it's ball season. Put those pumpkin spice lattes aside and grab a beer, because pro and college ball are tipping off, and there's no better way to feel a part of the action than to have a stake in the game with MyBookie. If you're the kind of guy who likes to bet a little to win a lot, try a parlay. For instance, if you like a couple of the big favorites this week, parlays are perfect because they let you bet multiple games together for a much bigger payout. Either way, if you're going to bet this season, do the smart thing and go to mybookie.ag because no one gives you more ways to win. The NBA is back in action, and it's time to turn your attention from carving pumpkins to the crazy year of basketball we have ahead of us. The offseason was especially eventful this year, and the league was thrown for a loop. Use your basketball knowledge to prove you have what it takes at mybookie.ag, where they make it easy to play and even easier to get paid. And if you join now, MyBookie will double your first deposit. Use promo code TheFlightMike to activate the offer. That's promo code TheFlightMike to double your cash. Visit mybookie.ag today. You play, you win, you get paid. Look, I don't want to blow this out of proportion. I don't want to say it's a big deal, but I wouldn't be doing my job if I didn't give you the full story here. So that's what I'm going to do. What's going on, guys? Your boy, TheFlightMike, backing up with another video, and it's currently 9 p.m. as I'm recording this. I'm actually heading out of town this weekend, guys, so if you want to see what I'm up to, I'm actually going to a rave. You can follow my personal Instagram. It's in the description down below. If you're new to the channel, be sure to subscribe, because as soon as I get to 500,000 subscribers, I'm going to be going full-time on YouTube. That's if you like my content and whatnot. And let's get to this bit on DeAndre Ayton, because it's near and dear to my heart. Whenever a player gets suspended for PEDs, I'm really into fitness. I am about to start nursing school. I have a background in exercise physiology. Although I don't have a degree in it, I'm fairly well versed in it. So who better to comment on the situation than me? First of all, if you guys need a little bit of background of who DeAndre Ayton is, he is the #1 overall pick in last year's NBA draft. He was drafted over players like Trae Young and Luka Doncic, but so was Marvin Bagley. Speaking of which, I hope Marvin Bagley gets well soon. But he's been known for being in the public eye for some controversial stuff. For example, last year in February 23rd, 2018, a little bit over a year from last year, there was a wiretap that revealed his head coach at the University of Arizona, Sean Miller, allegedly talked to a corrupt individual to discuss paying DeAndre Ayton $100,000 to allow him to enter the university. And with that situation being dealt directly to him, it just wasn't a good look for Ayton. Taking money as a college student is never a good look, but then again, we all know college basketball is just corrupt as hell, and I couldn't really blame him for taking that money, but I'm just trying to give you guys a little bit of background of the controversy that has been around DeAndre Ayton in the past. Now, let's talk about what I'm going to get into multiple levels here. The first thing I want to talk about is what this means for the Phoenix Suns. Then I'm going to get into why he was suspended for 25 games. It's a little bit fishy. It's a little bit interesting because he was taking a PED that was a diuretic. And I'm going to get into what a diuretic is and why it's considered a PED. I really don't think it 100% should be, but sure, I trust the NBA's judgment on these matters. But the reason why this is important is I feel like this was a huge opportunity this year for DeAndre Ayton to really take the next step. He was a decent rookie. He wasn't an incredible rookie, but he played as a #1 overall pick big man with high upside. He played like a guy that had potential. Now, he averaged a double-double, which is fantastic, especially in your rookie year on 31 minutes per game for a head coach that you'd probably never see again. But what really bothered me is I didn't see him take any three-pointers. And in college, he was a 34% three-point shooter, which is what kind of shocked me, because one of the things about DeAndre Ayton coming out of the draft was the fact that he was able to stretch the floor a little bit. And we never saw any pick and pops. We only saw pick and rolls. We saw post-entry passes. We never saw him make a three-pointer in his rookie year. which is fishy to me because in the NBA, you would think that they would try to expand upon that skill. Big men are expected to know how to shoot the three, and maybe that's why Igor Kokoshov, let me know if I said his name right, try saying that 3 times really quickly. Maybe that's the reason why he got fired and why Monty Williams is the new head coach. Now, why this is important is because I feel like this year the Suns actually have a roster that could compete. You know, I'm not going to sit here and say that they're going to make it to the playoffs, but I'd rather watch a team of Ricky Rubio, Devin Booker, Kelly Oubre Jr., and DeAndre Ayton over a team that didn't even have a point guard last year, although featured very similar key pieces. I do believe in Kelly Oubre's ability to take the next step, and this is such a shame because 25 games is 25% of the season, more or less. Well, not 20, a little bit more than 25% of the season, excuse me. It's not a 100-game season unless if you make it to the playoffs, but it's about 35 to 40% of the season. Someone do the math on that really quickly and let me know how much it is exactly in the comment section. Thank you. So my first point here is this is definitely not going to be good for his development. This could potentially cause problems for when the Phoenix Suns figure it out without him, which they probably will because there's a bunch of new pieces around in this first year under Monty Williams. And they're going to have to figure out how to play with each other. And then 25 games in, DeAndre Ayton comes back. So that's a huge problem, in my opinion. I don't think it's going to, ruin his career, but it's still a problem nonetheless. I would want DeAndre Ayton and Devin Booker and Ricky Rubio and everyone to really become familiar with one another. You have a lot of young players on the Phoenix Suns. They need to learn how to play together. Well, I'm not even talking about Mikal Bridges yet. I'm not talking about their bench pieces either. I'm talking about the fact that they really have to learn how to play with each other. Now, what the problem is DeAndre Ayton got tested for a diuretic. Now, what is a diuretic? The best way I could explain it is you have something in your body called ADH, this is really backwards. ADH stands for anti-diuretic hormone. And pretty much what it does is it allows you to retain the water in your body. And this is a part of your kidneys, like the renal system and whatnot. And the reason why any athlete would take a diuretic, and first of all, a diuretic could be something, you could call many things a diuretic. I think asparagus is considered a diabetic, but if not asparagus, then definitely coffee is a diuretic. Anything that makes you lose water and, just piss a bunch more pretty much is a diuretic. Now, pretty much the reason why you would take a diuretic is to lose water weight. So on the surface, this seems super mild, but I guess anything that would allow you to lose water weight is considered very extreme. Now, the issue with this is a diuretic is typically not used as a PED because losing water weight is so marginal and so not important. And honestly, we're talking about a difference of 5 pounds, maybe 7 pounds in terms of losing water weight. So it's very, very marginal weight loss if you use a diuretic. The issue with diuretics are they're typically used to increase the rate of urine, which means they are typically used. Have you ever seen one of those, those detox kits at a GNC? Which, by the way, I really don't believe in those, but everyone has their own beliefs. Pretty much what you do is you take one of those and you pee all day, and it's supposed to remove anything that's in your system. If you have a drug test coming up and a urine test coming up, that's what you take. So if you have a huge trace of diuretic in your body, you're trying to cover something up, which brings me to my next point. DeAndre Ayton wasn't suspended directly for his use of diuretics. Rather, DeAndre Ayton was suspended because he was clearly trying to cover something up that he was taking, and that could have potentially been a PED. Now, he isn't going to exactly have benefit of the doubt given his history at Arizona, given the fact that, I 100% understand my man why he would take $100K, man. If I'm broke, college is the brokest time of your life. If you are out of high school, broke, you're from the Bahamas, and some guy comes up to you and says, I'm going to give you $100K and you're going to go to my party school, hell yeah, I'm going to take it. Definitely going to take it. But the fact that that is also a stain on his, on his history is probably why the NBA is not really going to trust him in their judgment. For all you know, DeAndre Ayton could have been taking this diuretic because, I don't know, he decided to go to a party and take some Molly or take some drug that he wanted out of his system right before the drug tests begin. From my understanding, I don't think this was a planned drug test. It seemed as if it was a random drug test. So honestly, at this point of the video, everything is up for your own interpretation and your own speculation. Whether DeAndre Ayton took a performance-enhancing drug, which, by the way, from the looks of it, he looks very similar to the way he did last year. I don't see any significant muscle growth. I don't see more muscle mass. I hope he wasn't training his butt off for this season, because I'm sorry, I didn't notice it. Maybe if someone else did, let me know in the comment section, but for the most part, I didn't. So that's my piece on the situation. That's why DeAndre Ayton got suspended. He got suspended for taking something to cover up something else. And the NBA doesn't know what that something else is, or maybe they do and they just want to hide it from the public, which is 100% understandable as well. They typically don't disclose what their athletes are, get caught with. Like, you're not gonna, if someone gets caught with like cocaine, they're not gonna say, oh, this NBA player that a bunch of kids watch and a bunch of people look up to does cocaine. So chances are maybe the NBA knows and they're trying to hide it from you. Anything's up to your interpretation up until this point. So guys, if you enjoyed the video and you made it to the end of the content, let me know in the comment section. Hit me with an I took flight. Aside from that, I hope you enjoyed this late night video, man. I'm your boy, TheFlightMike, and I'll catch you guys later.